Hello? Hello, there we are.
I know I can't figure out how to get my thing big. Like it can't be that hard. Maybe it's right there. Oh, there we go. But that's a weird way. I never have to do it that way. Plus, can you see my shared screen? This
Yeah,
is,
it looks big on my side.
oh my gosh. I don't know why it's doing this. It's just like I am in full screen or something. I don't know. Let's see. More. Whatever. Maybe I'll stop. Oh, there we go. So I'm gonna stop share for, oh, I know, duh. It's because it was sharing my screen.
Ah,
Mm.
hey, thanks for covering me this week.
It actually was good because I knew I needed to get some information out there, but I hadn't sat down and like organized what information I needed to get out. So it worked out good because it made me like do a couple of action items that go along with what was in the newsletter. So it was good.
I was like, oh my heck, how did I forget that? And just, ugh, ugh.
Well, I get your Nephi, like the ones you do for Nephi too. So I think I didn't even realize you'd missed it till Thursday. But then like nobody had got you the information either. Like it still took me a while to get Colette. Like she finally got me hers, but and then we had to change the speakers.
Oh, why do we have to change the speakers?
I don't know. She had other people lined up and she's like, give me till noon so they can confirm. And then they did it. And so she was at a conference and just asked this Matt Lou. It's not Mike. But which we've run into him. He's like he was, I think, president of the Pacific Islander Chamber, but
No, that's Alan. That's
oh, okay, good to know. There's a couple other people, but I'm gonna wait one more minute to let him in. Okay, so you can see my screen, right?
yeah.
Okay, because I gotta end up sharing the invite too. I always think I'm prepared for these meetings and then they come and I'm not quite prepared. But after I do my welcomes, I'm going to turn time over to you to introduce San P. If you want to introduce Eureka, or not introduce, but just say thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I'll start letting people in. Lisa and Stephanie.
Oh, Stephanie. That could be Stephanie.
Oh. Good morning. Welcome, Stephanie and Lisa and Matt.
Hello.
Thanks for presenting
Thank you.
to us today, Matt.
Hey, no problem. I've had time to prepare.
About what, 4 hours? That's what you
Hey,
get for being friends with Colette and being at the same place with her.
I'm learning that. Like I said, I think we've only crossed paths like a couple weeks, and I think she's got me involved in like, I don't know, 4 or 5 different things.
Oh my gosh, sounds like Colette. She's awesome.
She's awesome.
Hey, where do you want chamber? Oh, there, I see it. Chamber collaboration. Okay. I see it. Never mind.
We usually have that at the top. I don't know why. I think I pulled up an old template, but either
So
way.
do you want it at the beginning or do you want it where it is right now?
Um, let's put it up where we've been putting it after. Let's do it after.
Yeah, after government updates.
Okay, let's put it up after government updates, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, are you gonna drive this, Teresa?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
And I think I have it set. Let's make sure you can share your.
Yeah, I might have just a couple, just like 2 pages I want to just throw up and kind of talk through a little bit later in the
Okay.
conversation.
So I think I have it set where anybody can share.
Let's see. Host disabled participant.
Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah, me. Oh, I get that. I get that.
Participant. Oh, there we go. All participants. Okay. Now that should be changed. Try again, just in case.
Yeah.
Oh,
So yeah, no, you're good. You're good because there's others sharing
okay.
at the time.
Okay.
No,
Oh,
you're
let's
good,
see.
I think.
Admit all. Good morning, those just getting on.
Good morning.
We'll give it a couple more minutes. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Chris. Hi, Holly.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming last night, Abby.
I was wondering, I'm like, which Holly is that on there? So
Holly Sweeten.
it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Yummy food. We are.
Hi, Mayor Bruno. Thanks for being here.
You're welcome. Good morning.
Good morning.
You don't want my camera on, trust me.
I know Zoom actually does I don't know, with Zoom, not with Google Meet, you can't do it, but with Zoom, you can like press the kind of filter yourself a little bit. So I actually woke up and thought, maybe I won't put makeup on. I'll just do the little filter thing, but I decided
So
to
you
really
make yourself fuzzy, huh?
yeah.
I feel kind of fuzzy, maybe.
Let's see, admit all. Hi, Jim. Hi, Joel.
How's it going, Trisha?
Good.
Good.
Oh, it looks like Chris is coming to us from Cedar Breaks National Monument. Don't we all wish, huh?
Yeah, for
It
sure.
doesn't look like that right now.
I know.
Pretty snow covered, I'm sure.
Very snow covered. But my daughter did get a powder ski day before she goes back to school. So she was pretty excited about that yesterday.
Awesome. Awesome. That'd be good.
Although I don't like powder ski days. I think I'm not a good enough skier to really enjoy the powder. I'd rather just like have it nicely groomed and
If I can sit on an inner tube and slide down the hill, I'm doing
yeah.
good.
All right. Just a second. I want to make sure I've got everybody. Let's see. Let's give it one more minute. We'll get Colette on here. She usually adds people for me. Abby, will you look too if anybody's trying to join? Wait, are you?
Colette's speaking somewhere, I think. You're on
You're on
mute.
mute.
Let me see if I
I
can
can't
make
add people. I'm not on your account. I'm not logged in.
okay, I think I can make you a co-host. So let me try real quick. Gosh, you think at this point I'd have Zoom all figured out.
I thought Colette was speaking somewhere, wasn't she?
Oh, is she not going to be here?
No, she's in Kane County speaking at their chamber.
Oh, well then I get to introduce Matt. How exciting. Okay, when we get to Matt. But
We're just winging it.
yeah, yay. All right. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. I'm sure we all got snow here in Utah. I do have to remember that joke on like, I don't know, you see it on Facebook that I don't have hurricanes or tornadoes or alligators. So whenever I'm like trying to dig myself out, I always think about that. I can do the snow. But we're so glad you're all here. I wanted to go over just a couple things on the kind of agenda we sent out yesterday. It was just the news updates and invites. But first, I'm going to turn the time over to Abby for a minute to kind of welcome our new chambers.
Yeah, I want to make sure I was unmuted. So we want to welcome Stephanie Hardy. She's the new executive director for the Sanpete County Chamber of Commerce, and they are gangbusters. They are going really strong. They have great support from towns in the county and stuff like that. So they're doing great. They had their first meeting in January, right? Their first like lunch and learn.
Correct. Yes, we had an awesome turnout and it's fantastic. Everyone is so excited down here to be a part of this chamber.
Great, and we're glad to have you on here. You're gonna learn so much from this kind of thing. So it's been great. And she's been in a collaboration with Jeff from Richfield and Jim from Payson with us as well. So it's been really fun to get to know her. And then also it doesn't look like they're on our meeting today, but Eureka is a new chamber that's with us as well. So we want to welcome them. And I love the surgence of chambers that's happening. It seems like it's like a big thing now in Utah, and a lot of chambers coming along and stuff like that. So I'm excited about that. So there you go, Trish.
Awesome. And of course, I just minimized my screen I was sharing, right? You guys are probably seeing a different screen now. Let me go real quick and get it back. Maybe.
Abby, I guess everybody learned or heard how easy it is to run a chamber. They all want to jump on board, right?
I was having a bad chamber week too. Trish saved me this week. But while we're waiting, let's congratulate Holly Sweeten with Burgess Owens' office. She announced she's running for office. So
Hey.
yay for Holly. She had her announcement yesterday. It was fabulous. So excited for her and for that. Do you want to really quickly talk about what area you serve?
Let me unmute. Yeah, so I am running for the State House Legislature, and it is District 58. Kevin Stratton formerly had that seat. Well, he has it this year, but he's not going to run again for that seat. He's running for the state Senate this time. So he is supporting me, and yay, we're just gonna, I'm working here for this whole year with Congressman Owens, and so just really happy to be able to stay here and see how I can help out at the state level as well.
That's awesome.
Perfect. Thank you, Holly.
Thanks. Okay, so I wanted to let you know, as a rural Utah Chamber Board, we are going to try to visit you guys this year. We'll call. Yeah, we're so excited. We're going to call. We'll set it up the best time for you. Would love to come the day you have chamber meetings. Would be glad to present. Would be glad to just sit and listen. You guys let us know, but we're really excited. We're going to get out to as many as we can. And we're hoping, and here's the little map of kind of the chambers that we already have in as members, but we just really want to get the outreach out to down in San Juan and Garfield and Wayne, and just get all the rural chambers and get them involved, because this is a great organization and we all become great friends and we learn a ton. So we will get with you and make arrangements to come visit you guys. Plus, there's nothing funner, I think, than rural Utah towns are my favorite things. Like, you know, when it's the only time I don't sleep on car trips, like if we're going through a big city, I'll sleep. But if like we're on a road trip and we go through a little cute town, I always have to wake up and like see everything. It's so much fun. So we're excited. Winter conference is coming up February 1st and 2nd. I promise it's worth going to. It's awesome. We're all going to be there as a RUCC board. I think it's $150 if you're not a member of UAC, Utah Association of Chambers. I think it's $120 if you are. But the first day you spend at the Capitol, you get to go walk in on some legislation sessions. It actually is so informative. Like, you will not regret going. The second day, we get to be at the Salt Lake Chamber offices. They have a great presenter coming to really talk about, he'll dig in deep with discussions on issues that really matter to chamber executives and board members. Great takeaways from him, but please come. Plus, we're going to have a little longer session at the end of that. So after the conference is officially over, we're going to stay at Salt Lake Chamber as rural chambers, and we're going to visit and talk, find out kind of the things that are working for us. We have little goodie bags to send you guys on the road with. So although it doesn't show on the agenda, that second day, stick around for another hour and you can just meet with, we'll meet with all of you guys and have our own little session. So there's a button to register here. And then of course, our favorite thing to do when we get together is have dinner parties. So definitely having another one of those. If you're on this call, if you've gotten this email, you're invited. They're always a ton of fun. Last year we had tables set up, but we're going to have even more people. So although we're going to have dinner, it's going to be more, we're going to be standing, visiting. We'll have some taller tables just so we can fit more people in. Yeah, and it's my son lives up in the avenues, and so he's glad to host us. And so It's right there where we're at. It's 5 minutes from like the Capitol. It's really close to downtown. So absolutely, if you're there, come to our dinner party. Let me see if I can share. I don't think I can. Oh,
Hey,
there we go.
Tricia,
Yes.
is there a congressional rate for those of us who are staffers?
I don't know. I will ask and get back to you today.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
So Holly, this isn't a rural Utah Chamber of Commerce.
It's through UAC.
Yeah, it's through UAC. So we
Okay, I can ask Brandy.
okay.
Yeah. So yeah, make sure you RSVP. We have lots of fun. We love to get together and just have fun and chat. So that will be the dinner party. There's the first day when we're all at the Capitol, and then they have a reception. You have to register separately for that, but the link will all be there. It's a legislative reception, and it's kind of fun because they just have like hors d'oeuvres, but you get to actually like run into your representatives or tell them you're going to be there. Hey, I'm going to be at this legislative reception. And then they can go too, and you can talk to them, which is really great. I tell you, I've said this before, but you can make a difference. Just all the things I've learned with, especially our government in Utah, it's the people, it's like us little people, not even little people, but it's us who makes a difference. It's us going to our representatives and saying, hey, we'd really like to see this. And so you can make a difference, promise. Not just saying that, you can. So great thing to be at. So after the reception, legislative reception, I think that's what they call it, then an hour later, so you can run back to your hotel and freshen up or run back and have a break, at 7 o'clock will be the dinner party. So I think that's all I have to run through that. We are going to start what's called a linger longer after these meetings. So if you're a chamber and can stay on an extra half hour, we would love you to. It's just going to be more of like a mastermind where we're talking about what's working for our chambers, what's not working. Today, I thought we could talk about membership. And I picked that because I think that's one of the things our chamber's struggling with. So today, stick around if you're a chamber, and anybody's welcome to, but if you're a chamber, stick around and we can kind of talk about what's working for membership in our chambers and what's not. So that's all I have. So we're going to turn the time over to Joel to introduce our government liaison.
All right, great. Thanks, Tricia. Can you hear me? Can you all hear me? Awesome. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to introduce H.D. Sanderson, who is with Representative John Curtis's office. He is his deputy director, district director here in the state, and we're excited to hear from him. Sounds like he's got some big news to share with us today, and so we'll turn the time over to you, H.D.
Thanks, Joel, and good morning, everybody. Always a pleasure to be with you on these meetings. Yeah, well, I'll just start with the elephant in the room, and that is that, as most of you probably saw, Congressman Curtis declared his candidacy for the U.S. Senate seat that will be opening up for Mitt Romney at the end of this year. So that's a big deal for him, and we're excited. There is a very fine line between the official side and the campaign side, so I can't talk a whole lot about it without breaking some ethics rules, but I will say this much, that our office will continue to function as a congressional office, and he will continue to fulfill his congressional responsibilities through the end of this calendar year. So anything that's needed from us or from him, please feel free to continue bringing that forward, and we will get you taken care of. Now that the fun news is out of the way, we can get to some of the other stuff he's working on this year in the House. So Congressman Curtis plans to continue advocating for energy and climate solutions with conservative ideas this year. He's done so much work with that. His Conservative Climate Caucus in the House is, I believe, the third largest caucus in DC right now. And so he's got over 80 members on that that caucus with him, and all of them are bringing wonderful ideas to the table. He's had a chance to be invited by world leaders to come and discuss his policies and the efforts that they're making in the House to bring that conservative voice to the table. One of the main points that I love that he makes and that's so important to Utah is oil and gas are not the problem, they're part of the solution. And he believes in that and is planning to advocate for that. We know that it's such a big part of our economy, but it's so much smarter for the United States to invest in its own oil and gas, and the congressman advocates heavily for that. It's cleaner when it's produced in the United States. It helps our national security and it booms our economy. So why would we not go for it? On the outside of that, he wants to continue supporting local government economic development projects. Several, I've got a list here that he was able to get earmarks for this last year. Over $1 million for Daggett County to establish a bike trail. 2.85 million for Carbon County's industrial park, 2.9 million for Provo Police Department's vehicle upgrades, 1.2 million for Vernal's downtown improvement project. So happy to continue supporting those local initiatives, while also continuing to push for the water issues that are in Utah and continuing to advocate for those as the Colorado River Agreement continues on, and then as the state lists its priorities for water as well. However he can best represent, again, those issues in the House, he's more than happy to do so. And always love being able to engage with our chambers and with our constituents across the state. For those of you who may be unfamiliar with our district area, we go from about Cottonwood Heights in Salt Lake County. We come down the east side of I-15. You wrap around the point of the mountain into Utah County, go down to Springville, and then you go southeast through Price, Moab, all the way down to Four Corners. And we also go northeast through Heber, Park City, and up into the basin, which we love so much. So again, big area, and we try to get out as much as we can. The winter makes it a little difficult sometimes, but we're certainly happy to come visit with you all. And again, if there's ever anything that we can do, please reach out to me, and we'll get you to the right place. And whether it's a DC issue that we can connect you on or something local, we're happy to support, and we're here for you. And again, Congressman Curtis appreciates you inviting us to this meeting and just letting us be a part of the Chamber Coalition. So thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, HD. We appreciate it. Lisa, I think you're brand new with Congressman Moore's office, right? Will you kind of just introduce yourself to us?
Sure. Yes, I'm Lisa Raskelly, and I've been with Congressman Moore for about 18 months, but now I'm his new district director. And so I'm happy to help in whatever way I can. And we're just obviously much kind of repeating what HD just said, is we're just kind of in Congress and doing all the things that if Congress could get some stuff done, the congressman would be grateful. But I am based out of Ogden, and happy to help in anything that we can do with you guys.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you both so much. Okay, so we have got a great presenter today. Matt, I've never met you.
Do you want to do chamber?
Oh, yeah, sorry. We're actually going to turn the time back over to Abby.
Okay, so I want to introduce our chamber sharing person today. So we've got Jeff Razor. He's with the Richfield Area Chamber of Commerce, and he would love to share what is going right with their chamber. So turn over to you, Jeff.
All right, can you all hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Good, all right. Does it kind of look like I have heavenly beams coming from above me here? It's just the lighting, not me. So, well, thank you, Abby, and everybody, for letting me just take a second. Feels like I just got on my first one of these 9 months ago, and so it's cool to know people now. So anyway, just a couple things about the chamber here. It's been around for like 50, 60 years. We had the same director for like 20 years, and then we've had 4 in the last 3 years. So we're trying to get some more consistency here. I've been around, like I said, about 9 months or so. Anyway, we've got a board, like a lot of people do. We meet every month. We've got about 100 people, 100 members of our chamber right now. It's renewal time, so we're trying to up that. I don't know exactly what you guys want to hear, other than maybe stuff we're doing. We've got monthly luncheons that we do. We have about 50, 60 people coming every month. We've got a speaker and awards and networking and delicious food. So we try to change our locations and our food. So members of the chamber, we pay them for their services. So another benefit for being on the chamber. Quarterly educational classes. We do money management, time management, e-commerce, team building. Anyway, you name it. We have a big annual dinner in November. We had 160 people come last year, and it was great. Had a lot of good people there, good speakers, awards, networking. We do a golf tournament. We maxed out the teams last year. We got companies that did whole sponsorships, that did team sponsorships. It didn't matter if they could golf or not. People wanted to be part of it, so that's kind of fun. We do a carnival at the end of the school year that we help out with. We sell tickets, and Sevier County Fair. We do bingo for 3 days, and so businesses come and they donate. They put their logo on their swag and they donate that. That was a party, I'll tell you what. ATV Jamboree, I think we're the only 5-day jamboree left in the state. And so the county pitches in and pays us a certain amount. So we deal with all the guides. We have 80 guides. We help them with ride descriptions. We help them, with question booths and everything. And that's been awesome. We get sponsors as well. We have a fall festival. We shut down Main Street. We have vendors and live music and food and business trick or treat. We got a light parade. We got Christmas tree lane. So anyway, those are a lot of things. The average age of a business owner is in the 40s now, rather than the 60s and 70s here in town. And so that's been totally a breath of fresh air. Nothing against, experienced business owners, but that's been kind of fun. But I got to tell you, the people here are the backbone of this entire community. They genuinely care for each other. They really, really watch out for each other. There's new people that come into town, and they're the first ones there at their restaurants, the first one there at their hotel, first one there buying their merchandise. And so that is so cool to see. Anyway, it's been fun to get to know Abby and Kathleen and Jim and Melanie and Stephanie. They've created this Central Utah Chamber Council. We meet every month in person. We meet every day through text. It's so much fun, and I don't know, that has been really cool to be part of that. And it all started with jumping on to the RUCC. That's where I met a couple of these guys. So anyway, that's God's country. There you go.
Thank you, Jeff.
Hey, Matt, I'm excited to meet you, excited to hear from you. I'm going to turn it over to you to introduce yourself and then just go from there.
Perfect. I appreciate this. This is probably the largest Zoom I've been a part of. And it's kind of pretty exciting to see all the energy and all the participants and the individuals representing the entire state of Utah. Just for my understanding, I recognize Mayor Bruno, obviously HD and Lisa. Is there anybody with the group that are associated or an elected official besides those three individuals? And Holly.
You got me? I was
And
just going to
Holly.
say Holly Sweet with Congressman Burgess Owens.
Yes. Okay, perfect. Appreciate those of you that are here that represent or is an elected official. I think you play a critical role in chambers and the success of chambers and the growth of chambers in your respective areas or municipalities. My quick background, I spent 15 years in St. George City on the municipality side. While in St. George City, started in 2003 there. While in St. George City, was involved in development services department, community development department, economic development, special projects. Obviously work closely with the city manager and the elected officials, Mayor MacArthur, Mayor Pike, and as of recent, Mayor Randall. While there, just some highlights, had the opportunity to rebrand the old airport from the old airport to Tech Ridge. So that's kind of a fun deal that we'll probably talk about a little bit later. Also involved in everything in Fort Pierce Industrial Park with recruiting companies and industries to grow Fort Pierce Industrial Park. Involved with a lot of the other major developments, the rebranding or the reuse of the whole downtown area, City View. Some of the things that we did there, that was kind of fun. And then just major developments, Desert Colors, Desert Canyon, the Ledges, and so on and so forth. One of the fun things that I was able to be a part of at its conception is Switchpoint Family Resource Center. A little bit different way to manage and to serve our homeless population. So that was kind of a fun deal. Really, at the end of the day, with all those projects that I've had the opportunity to work with, you just find good people Who was it? Jeff talked about, it's about people. You just find good people and just let them do what they do, and just be a support and a cheerleader per se, and give them the tools that they need to be successful in those responsibilities. And then I spent about 3 years in Washington City. In Washington City, it was the economic development director there, worked with starting the chamber there and getting the Washington City Chamber, because back in the day, it was just the whole St. George area. And that's kind of how things have been here for a lot of years. In Washington City, involved in Exit 13. A lot of the things are happening in and around that spot, restaurants, hotels, high-end auto mall that's being under construction right now. And then was also involved in annexation. There was about 800 acres that was in Washington City's master annexation plan next to the airport that they really never pulled the trigger on, because they never thought that was had any potential there. So we were able to pull the trigger there, got that property annexed, got it zoned. And right now, those of you that may be up north may be familiar with a company called Freeport, a light industrial company. They're strong financially. Their abilities, their resources are vast, and they're doing some amazing things there. They've launched a 250-acre light industrial project as part of the rolling out there. So there's some great potential there. So that's kind of my background on the municipality side and working with elected officials, and the importance of working with elected officials and kind of figuring out, what goals and visions that they'd like to accomplish while in office. Saying that, Trisha, tell me how many more minutes I got left.
I think you've got about 10, 15 minutes. So
Okay. I'll try to keep it brief and keep it moving. Like I said, I may just pick on people just because I don't know anyone. And if you don't like me after this, then you don't have to deal with me moving forward. But again, excited to be here. We are talking about chambers. We are talking about rural Utah in specifics. Love the group because, again, in a team or in a group environment, there is power. Love that concept, and I've used that concept many times throughout my career. Saying that, I'm going to go through challenges, opportunities, achievements, and tools. Those are the four topics that I think I'd like to address really quickly here in the next 10 minutes. I think we made mention, we'll spend more time on that as we break away from this meeting, on some of the challenges of rural chambers. We heard about membership and membership engagement, and how that might be a challenge because of the distances maybe between businesses and the community and such. Someone chime in, or I'll pick on someone. Give me one or two other high-level challenges that rural chambers face in this day and age. Just jump in. Don't be bashful.
Money, getting money.
Money.
Money. Okay, very good. Money. Other challenges. Maybe one or two more.
To go with that time, because a lot of us are volunteers. So having the time to take away from your real job and your family to do this.
Yeah, and having maybe the support staff, if you have any, other than the support staff of one.
Yeah.
That's helpful. And then maybe getting resources of other, or the opportunity of finding resources from maybe local counties, maybe state, that might be able to support our efforts as Rural Chamber of Commerce. Talk about real quick opportunities, because we are a rural chamber organization. What are some of the opportunities that you enjoy playing with, or you see unfolding in your respective communities?
Getting to know most of the members. They're smaller groups, so it's easier to get to know them.
Yep. Okay, got it. Any other?
Growth.
Growth.
I don't know. Growth has been kind of fun. We're getting new companies in every now and then, and that's been fun to see them all help each other.
Yeah. Very cool. Good comments. Solid comments. One more?
I think Matt, one would be like membership, getting membership and having that opportunity. Being in rural Utah, it sometimes is easier to get a membership because you're not competing with another organization or another chamber, and so that becomes an opportunity, I think.
Yeah, very good. Again, great comments. We'll dive a little bit more into it here in about 2 minutes. Achievements. Any like top 2, 3 achievements that you can kind of look towards as rural chambers, as you look past and maybe look towards the future, some things that you guys are excited about?
We have a really high retention rate. It's not 100% anymore, but we have a really good high retention rate. And so I don't know if it's just because, you know, we're the only game in town or people are just excited with what we do, but that's the success for us. So.
Very cool. Good comment. Anybody else?
For us, it's our long-term visioning that we've been working on a county level. And that's it's been a big lift. It's taken several years to get us to the point we are now, but we're starting to gain momentum and we're seeing some really positive things happen with that. And it's more about bringing in all the communities in the county, not just our own city. So it's a collaborative effort where everybody works together, and it's Trisha's involved in that and several others. It's a really big project, but we have 10 key focus areas, and you're working with government agencies, educators, citizens, you know, nonprofits, businesses, you name it. And it's a big lift. It's a lot of work, but the rewards, I think, are going to be very well worth it in the long haul.
Excellent. Perfect. One more?
I'm going to be a weird one for you.
I like
what
weird.
What I've seen in our community is the lifting up of like the parent teachers organization we have out here and doing other things to draw the community together, because we are really rural. So they're starting to come together and do things that bring the community together.
That's
after
not
the
weird.
inception of our chambers. So I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, I think that's really a gold nugget, because I think that's the power in chamber, and that's the power in community. It's just bringing people together, you know, like, again, you know, like Jeff talked about people. Just a statement, be a partner, be a friend. Be a partner, be a friend. As again, a lot of you, if not all of you, are, you know, part-timing or volunteering for the job, which doesn't give you much time to do anything else at times. It's hard to have like an outreach program. It's hard to, you know, visit all the businesses in town. But maybe that might be an opportunity to, you know, gather these businesses in some, you know, event or like your monthly luncheons or whatever you do there, to again just introduce people to each other, network, kind of get them working together collaboratively, and putting minds together to accomplish, you know, something amazing. I'm gonna share a screen if that's okay. Can everyone see this? Okay. We kind of touched on a couple of these things. I'm going to send this to either Abby and or Trisha to send to everyone else after we are done. I've got some links here that can kind of help, you know, give you some information on some of the ideas that I kind of threw on paper this morning. Again, we touched on this, challenges in the chamber, economic development opportunities. I think we've had that made reference to, and how that grows. Limited resources because of who you are, where you are, and what support you have there. Membership engagement. Again, you know, these are, I think, the top 3 that we can kind of chew on or just think through here moving forward. opportunities, because we are a small community, small, group, just supporting each other. I think that's, again, a power behind all of that, and then just try and share ideas with each other as you move forward. Collaborative partnership. I think we talked about that, especially with your local leadership, your elected leaders, finding out what is their goal, what is their vision, and being a part of the solution or part of bringing that vision to life. I think that's all, great opportunities there to build a partnership with your leadership, because they also have resources or networks that we can probably dive into, as long as we gain a level of trust, a level of professionalism, trusting them, trusting you or us to do actually what we want to do or what we say we will do. I put an example there on Tech Ridge, hence we made mention of that initially. Again, just Tech Ridge and how it evolved and how the city, a private-public partnership created with the founder of Tech Ridge, Isaac Barlow, and how the concept of building another industry in St. George was born. Because those that are in and around St. George, I understand St. George is kind of more of a golf community, a resort community, an older community. Education is good, medical is good. Obviously, building and construction is good. They're strong industries. What else? What can we do differently? Hence the concept of let's try our hand in technology. We do have local, homegrown and bred technology companies that have started the domino up there. I think we started originally with 2 companies, Busy and Printer Logic, that I believe their printer changed their name to Vision, something like that, I think, sorry. But since then, there's about 8 companies on the technology side that's up there. Obviously, Dixie Tech is up there as another resource, so that made it a great fit. And then there's a lot of growth there with their master plan moving forward. So again, you've got some information there that you can look on at your leisure. And then achievements. Just, Jeff made mention about, businesses and their swags being part of various events and activities in the community, through networking events and golf tournaments and bingo events and stuff like that. So that's great. Regional economic development. Reach out to those that are around you, not only within your very respective town. What's the neighboring towns look like? What's the neighboring even counties look like? I had a fun conversation with Lawrence Barlow, who is the economic development director for Hilldale. And some of the things that they're doing out in Hilldale, where they're crossing lines, even borders, where they're looking at working with Arizona, working with some of the other communities near and around there, to come with a regional plan. What is it? What's good for us? Is it good for you? What's good for you? Is it good for us? And then just having everyone on the table, having an open and honest conversation on what they can do individually to make the entire group stronger and the community stronger as we look towards the future. So that's been kind of a fun activity that he's working on there. Again, this group advocating for rural interests. We are stronger when we're together. We can do what we can do as an individual, but as we build and as we, increase the size of our team and the net that we may be able to cast and the relationships that we have individually, it can bring opportunities to expand and fill some of the gaps that one might need in funding and resources and such. And then finally, the last point, tools, strategies available to rural Utah support. I just threw Colette Cox on there. I just did it. She brought me to this. She hit me up last night and said, "Hey, Matt, can you jump in and then share a few thoughts this morning. I said, sure. But little did she know that, hey, now we're all going to call her and says, Colette, what resources do you have from the governor's side of it to help us grow our chamber? Below that, some ideas on some things that are out there as far as tools, Red TIF. I'm sure you're all aware of it or have heard of it. If not, there's a few links there that you can kind of start diving in on that concept and then maybe expanding from there. Some tools that we do have in development. Like I said, we have a land consulting company. We do land entitlements and land development in rural Utah. So we've got projects in Hilldale, in Apple Valley, in Tokerville, in Laverkin, obviously St. George, Washington, but we also are now looking at stuff in Bryce and working out there in Bryce and Tropic. And also, I think next week we head up to Milford and see if there's some things we can do and help up there with Jen and the stuff that she's doing on the economic development side there. And then that's kind of where I think public infrastructures might come into play or the concept. Now, let me kind of put a caveat there. I believe personally, because I've been involved in a couple of them, there's a good way to do public infrastructure district, and there's not so good way to do public infrastructure districts. I think education is key and communication is key when you start looking at tools, especially when you start looking at introducing these tools in rural Utah. It gets a little nervous because understandably so, these individuals are part-time elected officials as well. And it's an educational process. But again, it goes back to a statement that I said, you've got to earn trust in order to share ideas and concepts that might be a little bit new. But follow the rules and you'll be totally fine. When you want to stretch the rules a little bit, like anything else in life, that's where things get a little sketchy and a little gray. And we do not want to go down that road because I believe it's a great tool. And then there's an example there. I was involved in a project called Firelight in Tokerville, where we were involved in moving the main road, SR-17, to the bypass road to allow Little Tokerville to have their own Little Tokerville Boulevard that they will manage and own and not UDOT, nothing against UDOT. But now they can shut down that road in the 4th of July, the 24th of July, and have a parade down their main street that, again, enhances and promotes small town community, small town feel, and just kind of brings that experience back to the community. Part of that bypass road was a contribution by the developer of about $7 million that was recognized from utilizing a PID. So that was very helpful in that case. And then finally, you've heard of it, TIFs, CDAs, RDAs, EDAs. Again, just some links that can kind of introduce the concept if you're not aware of it to you, and then allow you to kind of get a little bit more, diving into it on your own to see how those tools might help with some of the ideas as maybe some of the businesses they may be looking at your community and relocating, i.e. Fervo up in Milford, and what that might undertake and what that might involve, and what are some of the tools that may be able to attract these companies that will bring, a couple hundred new jobs to the community. That's a mouthful. I think I'm done speaking. Does anyone have questions or comments?
No, yeah, if you can email that to us, that would be great because it looked like great information. I really do want to click on those links and get in there. So
perfect. Again, I appreciate the opportunity to take a few minutes of your time this morning. And if at any time I find myself finding 18 new friends, if I can help in any way in any of your respective areas, like I said, I'm not afraid to drive. Well, I should rephrase that. I am not afraid to drive anytime between December and February, coming from St. George. So, but other than that, I'll take a chance. So if there's anything I can do to help in your communities and what you're doing and what your responsibilities and goals are, feel free to reach out. And I appreciate the opportunity to spend a few minutes with the group this morning. Thanks,
Thank-
Tricia and Amy.
Thank you so much, Matt. Great information. If you happen to be in Salt Lake, the 1st of February, come to our dinner party so we can meet you in person.
Appreciate the invite. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. I'm going to turn just a minute over to Chris.
Am I there? Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, hey, we thank everybody for being involved in these calls. I think there's so many great things that happen in these calls, and the opportunity to exchange ideas and to talk about different things. But Matt, thank you. Very good, insightful information, and we're grateful for your tidbits of knowledge there that you shared. And I think that's one of the real values of being involved in the Rural Utah Chamber Coalition, is that there's so much information that we're able to share and cross-pollinate, if you will, so that we can take this information back to our chambers and to our communities and help really elevate what we're doing. And so that's really important to us, and thank you. That was extremely helpful information.
You're welcome.
So one of the things that we like to do is we're adding a new feature to these meetings, and kind of a linger longer on the actual meetings themselves, to where we can sit around, those who still have time and want to chat or share ideas or have concerns or anything that they want to expand on or expound on, then they can do so. And so we really just want to open up the time for anybody that has any thoughts or needs or concerns or anything that they want to share. And the time is yours to really use in that way, so that we can find ways to help each other.
Hey, if I have a second, yesterday I got an email from UAC with the agenda for the conference. Can I share that?
Yeah.
Here, let's see. Okay, is everybody seeing my right one? It's my Google Drive. Are you seeing my email?
Yeah, winter conference.
Okay, so which I thought was pretty interesting. So this is the first day, which is, the government area. And then so it just goes down to like who's all coming, who's talking, and that kind of stuff. And really, this legislation reception in the rotunda, that's a great way to connect with your representatives up there, because they do come down there. And then there's so many other people that were there. We got to meet with Questar last year, I remember, and there was just a lot of people that we could meet with that not only are not government people, and they usually have really good food too. So snack, come do that.
Yeah, and just Abby, to make that clear, I didn't realize we had to register for that until this meeting. It's not really clear on this document. So I don't know what happens if you don't click that link and register, but
yeah, to pay to go to the conference, is that what you're saying?
No, the 2024 legislative reception.
Oh,
Asking you to register for the reception.
did not know that either.
Yeah, Tricia had mentioned that earlier. So Tricia, is that a mandatory registration?
I just know, and it might be on the same thing as what Abby was showing us. I just know it said registration for the reception is separate. I haven't gone in and registered myself yet, but yeah, you are supposed to register. I don't know if it costs. I think maybe it was $15.
Yeah, there's no cost. I registered while we were talking this morning.
Oh,
Okay.
great.
Perfect. And then day 2, which I thought was really great. They have Frank Kenny coming, and he is he's with Chamber Pros Community. If you're part of that on Facebook, lots of really great information. So if you want to get ideas for making your chamber better, I think this is going to be really great to have him. I'm excited to meet him. When I saw that, I'm like, oh, we need to let people know, because Jim, you've had a meeting, online Zoom meeting with him before, or?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. He like knows everything about everything to do with chambers.
Yeah, he's been around for a really, really long time. So anyway, I thought that would be really great. So if you were kind of on the fence of whether or not you want to go to it, I think this is the kick in the butt to go ahead and register for it, because
Absolutely.
that's kind of invaluable to have that kind of face-to-face conversation with him and get to ask him questions and that kind of thing. So I know he's kind of helped give me ideas for doing our nonprofit status. So I think that's pretty fabulous. So that's all I've got.
Awesome. Okay, well, Chambers, let's talk about membership and kind of, if everybody unmute yourself and kind of let me know what you do, what's working. If you have anything that you need to ask that maybe is working for our chamber, we can help you, but let's just all unmute ourselves and kind of have that discussion. And I'll start because the reason I wanted to talk about membership is because that's one of the things I feel like needs to be strengthened with our chamber. And I don't know how you guys handle this, but like for me, I feel like members, of course, needs to be a top priority, but then how do you make that a top priority with everything else going on?
That's such a challenge, but I tell you, the thing that's worked for our chamber that has been really good is having an ambassador program. So when you can have a group of people that will go out there and be ambassadors on your behalf, that's huge. So right now at our chamber, we currently have about 20 ambassadors, and they meet once a month, and then they all get assigned members. But then we also take the new business license list that we get from the city, and we always go out and try to visit those new businesses so that we can introduce them to the chamber, invite them to come to a meeting and learn about what we do and offer. And this makes a huge difference. So an ambassador program is a great way to take some of your members who are looking for ways to build their circle of influence, expand their reach, get more customers and what have you. It's a great way. It's a win-win.
And so with like a smaller chamber, I probably could have 5 ambassadors in Parowan. And I do love your guys's, like I'm a member of Cedar City Chamber also, but the guy that was like my ambassador, he doesn't do it anymore. Like he would come to Parowan, and if I wasn't there, he'd drop me off like candy and a card and said, hey, it really did make a difference. It really does make a difference.
It has a huge impact. People just know you care. And
yeah,
it's hard when you're trying to run your chamber, especially in a volunteer chamber. Any of them really, but on a volunteer chamber, even more so. It's hard to get out and see all the people. And so, there's no way I could go out and see 370 members every year and stay on top of my duties in the office as well. So, excuse me, having those volunteers out there to help, it's an army. It really just makes a huge difference.
So you have your ambassadors. Do you assign ambassadors certain businesses, or how do you utilize them?
Yeah, so our ambassadors each have about 12 to 15 members that they oversee, and we ask them to have a touch point with the members once a month. We ask them to try to physically visit them twice a year. We ask them to always make them aware of events that are coming up, but personal invitations are the ones that work the best. If you can stop in their office and stop and see them, it's very rare that somebody gets upset with you. In fact, I've never seen anybody get upset for dropping in and saying, hey, how's things going at your business? How can you help? Did you know the chamber has these resources, these tools? We've got the Business Resource Center, Women's Business Center, Small Business Development Center, whatever. We've got all these other tools and resources to help your business. Are you utilizing these, or do you have a need for them? And what are some of the challenges you're having? Just asking a few questions. They feel like, man, I'm getting my value out of the chamber because they're listening to me, they're looking for what my needs are, and they're trying to help me find solutions. And that's really what we're about.
Yeah, I like that.
I was an ambassador up in the Ogden-Weber area, and we were mentors. And what we would do, exactly what Chris was saying, is we all had companies that we were in charge of, and really we would see them at events, we would contact them, and we would bring them in and say, oh, hey, let me introduce you to this person. Let me introduce you to this person. And it was almost an immediate connection into the networking of the community. So I second that ability to have those ambassadors. It's fantastic.
Lacey,
oh, sorry. Yeah, I was just going to ask. So my big struggle is actually engagement of our businesses and our board. I cannot even imagine. I've tried to get an ambassador program. I've tried to get committees. I cannot get anybody. How do you incentivize people or motivate people to get engaged, to sign up to be an ambassador?
That's a good question, Lacey. Yeah.
So a lot of times when you're struggling with something like that, you need to try to find somebody that's in your board or somewhere that can be a partner with you. And sometimes it has to start really, really small. And I know it's painful, but if you can do that and go out, just you and that other person, and you start to build a little momentum, then you find other people. It just takes time. And I wish I had an easy answer. But one thing I've learned about the chamber world, there's no easy answer.
Right.
Doing this, reaching out to all the other chambers and finding out what they do that works.
On that topic, when these new people, new volunteers go out, they don't always know what the chamber has to offer and why it's a good idea to be a member of the chamber. So it ends up just being a, hi, how are you? We're here from the chamber. You know, how do you get those other people informed of what the chamber has to offer?
So let me,
you know what I mean?
I'm gonna send Trish a list. I put together a list of like 40 things that the chamber does for you. And I will send that to Tricia and she can get that out to everybody. Is that okay, Tricia, if I do
That's
that?
great.
I will find that file and send it to everybody. I send it to Tricia and she can get it
So
out.
then would you just give that document, say, here, study this and understand what we do before you go out to visit?
Yeah, I mean, if you just read through it, but it doesn't hurt to, we've started putting it in our membership package too.
Mm-hmm.
It's good for people to see it. I mean, it's because people connect on so many different things. One person wants connections, another person wants business skills and resources. You know, another person is just trying to learn how to do business. So everybody has a different reason for being in the chamber. It's not like going to the gym where everybody is going there to get in shape. It's different for everybody. Their need is different. And so we're trying to meet them on all our different fronts. And so for creating a list like this, it helps them to see that, hey, we probably cover the area that you need. You just need to ask us. But it's so hard to read everybody's mind because when people are coming in, you're trying to network, you're trying to organize your events, you're trying to stay on top of your finances and everything else. There's a lot to cover. And so being able to have a list like this just really helps to say, oh, I identify here. How do I connect with those folks? And that's what it's about. So I'll get that to you.
Lacey, how long have you been at Moab Chamber?
I've been here since 2018. So what is that? Almost 6 years. Yeah, almost 6 years. We've been through our board terms are 3 years, but we've been through quite a few board members in that time frame.
Well, besides Chris, I think you're the next most senior, or maybe Trish. Yeah, a lot of us are newbies, so it's nice to know that, you know, we're not feeling as newbies that these problems that we're having are not just for us. I like that kind of thing. Going, okay, it's not just me. It's just
right.
Right.
For sure. And as far as engagement goes, I'm also wondering, like, are there any other chambers that do have committees that are working for you? That is one thing that I feel like these committees could really move the chamber forward, just because, you know, they could make they take these certain focuses, and I make these committees, and we have each of our board members is a chair of a committee. And then it just like it's really just kind of like the workload is just on them. They don't actually get a committee together and move it forward. So
How
I'm
many
just
members do you have?
We have 250-ish.
Well, that's
Yeah.
That you need committees. You need people.
Absolutely.
Are you just a one person? Do you have an assistant or?
So I do have an assistant. She's really part-time. I'm technically part-time as well, but it doesn't work out that way most of the time.
50. Oh my word. I am like busy with 115. I could do this full-time job, but
right.
250, can you imagine? Yeah. And that's when I was like, I've got 2 ambassadors and we just started it. And I'm like, okay, can you guys just come to ribbon cuttings? That would be really fabulous. And so then I'm like, okay, if I split it in half, that's like 50 businesses each. I'm like, I need to get more ambassadors. But I like that Lacey's like, how do you get people to volunteer to help? I'm like, yeah, exactly. Like I had to beg these people like, hey, please come help.
Right. Well, and I'm curious if anybody has like a commission system for membership.
Oh, like they get paid commission if you.
Yeah, like if board members get like our our
Oh.
chamber did it for staff. However, I don't know. I haven't taken that commission for a couple of years just because we changed to online memberships and all of these different reasons. But I'm curious if like a board commission would be helpful.
So if the board gets new members, they get paid some of that money?
Yeah.
No.
No.
For anybody.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't support that.
Right.
Volunteer. I mean, in reality, we're looking for their money. The board should be the ones putting in as much money as any member with sponsorships and support and their time. So I would find another way to compensate them besides sharing that money. But let me, on the committees, we spent all last year talking about our committees and nothing happening. This year we assigned a specific committee, not to every board member. We just kind of chose the committees we wanted to really get functioning. And we made every committee chairman who's a board member to write an action plan, gave them a deadline, and we actually received 6 out of 7 responses. So we now have an action plan at least. So we've got direction with these committees. Now this year, we will try to get the board members to do what you were saying, get them to get volunteers and build their committees and actually act out that action plan that was created.
That's great. And I will just say, I do have one experience with one committee that it did do its job, but out of it grew kind of because, so here we have a lot of, angst, I guess, between like business and government and whatnot. And the chambers have to stay as neutral as they can. But so out of this committee actually grew an entire other association, which would then lobby and do the things that they weren't getting from the chamber. And so, and on the one hand, I never know whether to count that as a success or not, but because on the one hand, they were able to meet and then, move forward with what they wanted to do. I've just always felt bad that we couldn't do it as a chamber, but just something, I don't know, I guess just an experience to share with those committees. Sometimes they work almost too well.
Jeff, what were you going to say?
Oh, Lacey, I don't know if you've ever met Kathleen Levitt from Spanish Fork, but they've got some pretty good committees and that might be able to give you a little help and direction.
Okay.
Anyway, we can get you in contact with her, but she's really good like that.
Yeah, they have very active board members as well.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, she's got a good board.
I was just gonna.
No, go ahead,
Jeff.
Jeff.
I was just gonna jump on Chris's thought. So I was asked to present the other night at this Sevier County Economic Development Entrepreneurship course about the chamber. And I hadn't ever really sat down and looked at all the benefits, And so anyway, I came up with a list. And so I printed these out. So education, and then I list what we offer for education, luncheons, quarterly education, getting your business out there. And so I listed all the things, the advertising, the sponsorship opportunities, networking, luncheons, ribbon cuttings, ATV Jamboree, In the Know, the newsletter, voting for chamber membership, recognition. We give awards every month and annually, and then service opportunities. We do veterans breakfast. We do hospitality rooms for basketball tournaments. We do committees. And so I started printing these out, and then I take our panel card that has our membership packages on there, and then testimonials, and then my business card. And that has been such a great thing to do, with a lot of information, rather than, hi, I don't know you, you don't know me, but join the chamber.
Mm.
Oh, okay, well, I don't have a lot of time to talk to you. Well, great. Here, I'm going to leave this information with you, and I'll come back in a day or two after you looked at it, and we can talk. And so anyway, I've just started that this last week, and I don't know, I've dropped it off to 6 different businesses, and one of them right on the spot. I didn't know what that was. I thought it was like the Lions Club. No, that's not what we are. Well, how much does it cost? Here's a check. Hey, we'll take your money. That's great. So anyway, that's been one thing that's I think going to be helpful in the future.
Well, and I love that card. And I know Abby has something like it, but I think that's what we need to do with our chamber is, yeah, that's so great. And maybe you could like scan that and share it so we can share it. But stuff
Yeah.
like that is so important. And then it's like following through. It's like and that's the cool thing about something visual. So like if you promise your members all these things and you don't do it, that's where the disconnect comes. We actually had my numbers on Everything Chamber in Parowan for some reason still. I'm not president, but so I get the calls, and then if our membership's not happening like it should, then people are continually calling me going, I'm not on the website. And since it kind of wasn't my role, it's hard. So I think having something visual for whoever's doing your membership, that this is what we have promised these people. And in fact, I'm listening to a book right now. It's like Crucial Influence, but it talks about having something visual and then having a way to be accountable. So I don't know, it's hard though. It's like, Lacey, if you get somebody on, if you have somebody that says I'll do membership and then they don't, it falls back on the president. To what, Jeff?
So one thing with that, so every member that once they register, then I go and give them a welcome to the chamber packet. So I've visited every single member so far, and it's got this on there. And then I remind them, this is the package that you purchased. So at any time throughout the year, you don't think that you are receiving what you were promised, then hold us accountable.
That's awesome.
And so this has been, I don't know, it's been nice. So we'll see.
Barbara, did you have questions? Because I know you had sent an email and you were kind of wanting a little bit more guidance and stuff like that about, chamber and stuff. So it was your email that kind of spawned this linger longer thing.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I do. Our last chamber meeting, we reconfigured how we were trying to get participation. So we started committees, and it was a pretty good deal for about a blip on the radar. and then we started a committee to try to get a community park in the Callio area. We have about 16 littles up there. And I presented an innovation center in connection with the park. And the sentence dead air on the radio? That's where I'm at. Trying to get an action plan or anything to get us to the next level, because we're going to need to write grants. We're going to need to get people to donate and participate. Anybody got any ideas on how we can move forward from just we got a great idea to maybe an action plan or anything?
How do your monthly meetings look? What do you do with those?
That's our problem. Our monthly meetings, the only really, really good meeting we had was when we invited the county commissioners to come out and do their commissioner meeting. And so we had a really big turnout, and I took advantage of that, or rather we took advantage of that and formed the committees. And in our bylaws are in, I'm sorry, I'm searching for a word and I can't find it. Anyway, they want to set it up to where, because of the size of our chamber, we do it every other month in hopes that we can get more participation, so it's not a constant thing. We've been talking about dues and stuff, not getting a lot of response, Abby, and I'm just bogging down. I don't know what to do.
So we kind of with the old chamber, so if you guys know, so we redid our chamber 2 years ago. We like started over. I was gonna shut it down because
That's where I'm at.
we had nobody coming to meetings, and it was because of what we were having for our meetings. And so it was literally like out with the old and with the new. We completely revamped everything, and we stopped discussing things that had to do with the chamber business. Like we left that to a separate board meeting. So we had a good lunch. We offered a good lunch, and then we had really good speakers come, and that energized everything. It completely changed the way we were going. We went from having nobody come to just our last meeting, we had 50 people, and we've got a chamber of 115 people or 115 businesses, and we have 50 people coming just in 2 years. It literally completely changed everything by just being very precise and thoughtful about who we were having for our lunch and learns. And we discussed no business at all. It was literally nothing. We didn't talk about bills. We left that up to the chamber, and we set up our bylaws that way so that the board could take care of that. So we don't have to approve bills. We don't have to do it. The only thing I have to do in the big meeting is if we change the bylaws, and I have to have approval from the general people. That's the only time I bring up something. Other than that is solely about how to do your business. And then I made the presentations kind of different. So we could talk about advertising one time, we could talk about business grants another time, we could talk about like we just did AI and how you can use AI to do your business. We have just like a whole bunch of different stuff. Next month we're doing Department of Workforce Services. They have grants, internships, stuff like that can help you out. So if I noticed that when we completely changed it, it changed everything. It all. And I know you could get, some people even, and I know you're kind of far out there, but even if you had Zoom luncheons where if you had presenters come in Zoom, that would make a big difference. But I think if you just completely change everything, and that's kind of what I told the RUCC chamber too, because I came out and they're like, what do we do to get people to come? And I'm like, well, is this how your normal business meeting or how your normal meeting is ran? Because this feels like a city council meeting and nobody comes to city council meetings. So you've got to make it worthwhile for them to come. If they're going to leave their families, if they're going to leave their businesses, you've got to make it worthwhile.
Okay. All right.
Sorry.
I'm just sorry. Abby, I might give you a little jingle here later on.
Yeah, I don't mind. I've got our year, like I'm booked now for the entire 2024 with like what our speakers are and what we're doing and that kind of thing. And it's been so beneficial. A lot of our chamber members were going, wow, that was really great. Even like World Trade Center, which I didn't think would be really that pertinent with a small town chamber. I thought, what are they going to do? They, not a lot of people are shipping internationally, but the actual information they provided was more relevant than I realized. Like, hey, they'll translate your website into Spanish for free. They will help you get onto Amazon UK or Amazon Canada. So that's something a stay-at-home mom can do. She can actually sell her stuff on Amazon UK, and she could be an international seller from her kitchen. So I think that kind of stuff is actually really interesting and more interesting than And if you're excited about it, then other people will be excited about it. So if you just sit there and go, oh my gosh, I'm so excited about next month. We're going to have some fabulous food. We're going to have good people come out. Then you'll keep it going. It's when you become stagnant and then you just go, well, what are we going to talk about here? That's when you lose people. So.
Got it.
Can I chime in about the grant in particular, or the park in particular? You're saying, you've got to move to grants and whatnot. Colette, I just want to put in a plug for Colette Cox. She has been such a great resource for me here in Moab. We've never received money from our government in our city or county in any way. And Colette got involved down here a little bit talking about rural county grants and the economic assistance grant and all these different grants from the governor's Office of Economic Opportunity. And so for the first time this year, we got 2 different grants. We we were able to propose to our county some projects that we were able to be a part of our rural county grant. And we were able to get the economic assistance grant for a project that we wanted to do. But she's just like an amazing resource for that kind of thing. If you're wanting to take that on.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things I wrote down for when we come and visit like your different chambers. I want to each time bring you some options for grants because they are such a big deal and they get overwhelming and there's so many. And that's Colette's so great at that. Like the fact that she said, here's some specific ones. It is a big deal. So we'll really try to help you guys find those grants because it makes a huge difference. Like if your chamber's giving $10,000 grant money, there's a lot, it's a lot easier to run a chamber with money for sure.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you, Abby's toughest tier for her chamber is $750 membership. And people join for that because they know she'll follow through. Like they know for everything they get for the under $750 will happen. So it makes it like a no-brainer for some companies, you know. If not, like the things that like Nephi does with their top tier people who pay, like you're going to end up paying $3,000 to $10,000 to get those things individually if you hire a company to do the average, you know. So it does. Follow through makes a big difference. But it's hard. It's like Lacey said, like if you can't do that, like you can't take on everything yourself. So unless you have people that are willing to help you, then it's really hard.
Well, and 2 years ago, we had 13 members who were paying $60 a year. And then we couldn't get anybody, you know, to do it. So literally our budget was, you know, $600 or something like that, $700. And then now we have most of our members are paying that $750 in just 2 years. So if you just, I don't know, it was just like I had to completely restart over and I was present at that time at the Oval when nobody would show up. And so I was just defeated. I'm like, it's not working. Nobody's interested. And it completely changed everything.
Abby, how did you get the members to renew at the higher level? Was it during the renewal period of the year or was it just all along throughout the year?
So we went, so the first year before we did it was $60. Then we went to like the first year we did it. And this is like, we did an introduction. Like we had a barbecue company come out and we had a free lunch, like everybody come, we had 60 people. And then I did quick 5-minute introductions of our partners. So Snow College came talk for 5 minutes. The high school did, the city, the county, about what we were going to do as a chamber. And then a lot of people joined and that was in December. And then we offered like free lunch the first year. Everybody just come, you know, and just come enjoy the speakers. It was like you had to show them really that we had changed. And so, and then we, then that first year, it was like $50 if you were at-home business, $75 if you were like 1 to 10 members or 1 to 10 employees, and then $100 if you were more than that. And then the second year, I just kind of looked at everybody else's, you know, chamber memberships, and I'm like, we can make a lot more money off of this. So then I just created value for it. I looked at what we had done that year and the ideas that I was getting from meeting like with you and Kathleen and Melanie and all these people about what things we can do. And then I made it part of the package because I didn't want to keep asking people for money to sponsor events all the time. So I was like, okay, if you are the premier member, then you already get a $200 credit to use for the golf tournament. You can use it to do a team. You can sponsor lunch. You can do a big sponsor. You can do whatever you want. So, and then other things just included it. So like we do, our big thing here is Halloween. We do a business trick or treat. And we do flyers that have all the businesses that are participating on them. And we send them to every single kid in all the elementary schools so they could take it and see all the businesses. Now you can go, like I'm a chamber member here, but my next door neighbor is not. And they'll sit out there with a bowl of candy and that's fine. I'm not going to get mad, but everybody wants to be on that flyer. And I'm like, well, if you want to be on that flyer, you can't be a basic $75 member. You have to be $100 member. And so then I just added different kinds of, you know, things that were sponsorships already built into it. So I didn't have to keep asking people. So I'm like, okay, you're on this level. I'm automatically going to put you on the Halloween trick or treat bags. You'll get on that. So that's kind of how I did. Cause I just didn't want to be like spending all my time looking for sponsors for events.
And one thing that I'm kind of coming up with lots of ideas, of course, this great mastermind we're doing right here. I love it. But like when we come out and visit your chambers, like have a top priority. Like Abby, bless her heart, and I hate to even throw it out there, she'll be busy, but so our chamber does not get any funding from the city. We're all volunteers, and our city can give us $10,000. Like it's, I know they can, but for me to present that, I don't know the wording. So like I have Abby coming down, and she's actually going to present to our city council on the benefits of supporting your chamber. So if that's something you want, like we can set it up where when we come visit you, you can get Abby on, you know, to even come help you present to your city council. That stuff is huge. And like to have Colette come and show you grants. We really do want to, and when we come and visit you, we want to leaving you something really valuable that's really going to help your chamber. So be thinking of different things you need, and we'll probably send out like a Google form that says, hey, what is your biggest priority? You know, getting committee buy-in or getting city buy-in, because we really do want to help you. You know, it's funny, between the 5 of us, we really all have some great different skills that we really do want to provide you and help you with. But this is,
yeah, we helped Sanpete County Chamber we got them $15,000 from their county. I'm like, let me come and speak. I know those guys. I'll tell them, and they did. They got the $15,000 to start it. So
yeah, it was right over a Zoom call too. It was absolutely amazing. Abby pitched for us and just told her story and how successful she was running the chamber over there in Greater Nephi, and they were able to secure that funding. It was fantastic. Thank you, Abby.
Yeah, they were like, we'll find the money to do it.
And Barbara, real quick, speaking of AI, no one likes these autopilots. Like, I know people are shy about it, but will you send me your notes? I can see that your notes are taking like great to-dos. And so after this, are you the one of the ones that are doing the autopilot?
Me? Yeah, I have it on so I can go back and review.
Send me the notes. I love it. Actually, I used it, then I stopped using it, but like 3 people are using it on this meeting, and I guess it gives you little summaries, and I'm going, oh my gosh, I need these notes from whoever's doing this autopilot. It's fantastic. So, but any other feedback? This is great, you guys.
So Trisha, I was just gonna say, what if we planned a board? You know, we were talking about the trip, plan a trip out to West Desert, meet with Barbara and have her mayor and county commissioners there, and just have a little, a little meeting with them and some of their chamber members, and just show the value and let Barbara and the community folks know that Barbara's part of a bigger cause with the Rural Utah Chamber Coalition, and she's connected with the Rural Utah Chamber Coalition throughout the state. And so maybe we could do that, and then have Abby pitch them on, contributions and stuff, and then help with some of your future meetings, and committees.
So I did that with Sanpete Chamber. Their first, what was it, November? I did like a whole PowerPoint presentation on the benefits of chamber. I may have gone a little over per Jim, and then I'm going, wait, we do all that? I'm like, but
well,
it was perfect. What are you talking about?
As sad as it is to say, let me see if I can word this so that it doesn't sound offensive. To get participation, I almost have to have the movie stars out. You know what I mean? I like having the county commissioners come out. That was our movie star moment in July. They come out, they held their meeting, and everybody wanted to talk to them. And I need another group of people like that, another opportunity like that, that people like, okay, yeah, we want to go meet that person, and we want to talk to that person about our situation, our problem. Does that, I don't mean to sound rude, but that's kind of what I'm looking at.
Lacey, I think more important is the speaker, most people don't know all the facts and figures about the speaker. So you need to get a core group of people, 15 to 25 people that want to be together every month themselves to network and share leads back and forth. You want it to be more of a networking group that shows up and the speaker is just icing on the cake. Because you're not going to get your movie stars in there every week or every month. So you can't rely on that to draw the people, because then there's too much pressure on you to get that movie star speaker. So I would work on getting that core group, 15 to 50 people. So you'll get 20, 25 people showing up every month that just want to be together. And that's what the chamber's all about, is to network and grow your business.
And even getting on your city council, like we have done this in the past, but it hasn't been so regular. Like we've gone into chamber and said, this is what we did last year, because they don't have a clue. I always say chambers are like employees of cities that work for free if they utilize us correctly and partner with us. But even getting on the city council, what has West Desert Chamber done? And then that's maybe a night that we could be there and come with you. So you're getting up and presenting, but then having us be there to support you and having like Abby or me get up and going, oh my gosh, she is, they're such a big part of us. And then your city's finally stopping and going, oh, wait, she's got some great stuff going on with her chamber. She's got some great backing from other people in this state. And then they kind of feel a little bit more accountable to even help you, or even at least respect what you're doing, at least know that you're there and you're trying to make a difference.
I'll say something to that really quick. I don't know if your city or your county are members of your chamber, but that's been big for us. They give us money, but we earn it. So like with the county, I put in, I couldn't tell you how many hours, or our chamber board puts in hours to help with the jamboree. So they're saying that the chamber is an asset to them as a county. And so it's kind of working both ways there. They're not just donating money. They're saying that we're part of that. With our city, they give us donations as well. So I'm there at city council meetings. We're there as part of that. And it's kind of nice that, I don't know, one of our city council members called me the other day and just said, hey, just want to tell you thanks for being there. We appreciate what the chamber's doing. And so they see that. And so when they speak, of course, people listen. And when they're speaking good about the chamber, it's a win. That's something that's been okay for us anyway.
Yeah. I do a biannual presentation to both my city and my county. And my county doesn't give me any more money than just a regular premier membership, but I feel like I'm going to be asking them for more in the future. So I want to build that trust and relationship now so that they know that they can do it. So I present twice a year and say, okay, this is what we've been doing for the past 6 months. Here's what we've accomplished and here's what we have looking forward. So.
Well, this was incredible. Let's do like last thoughts. Actually, I have learned so much in this half hour. I'm super excited for Linger Longer. It really is just like a mastermind to share information. But Barbara, we're going to get with you and figure out a time we can come down to your chamber. So I'm excited.
Thank you so much.
I love that you're doing something and just in because it's such a small rural area. Jeff, go ahead.
Oh, no, I said, well, we can travel as well. We don't need to present, but we'd love to come and support. We did that with Sanpete County, and it was awesome to be a part of that and show that unity. So let us know.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate your support, because I was just on the verge of just cutting the strings. I want to see so much for our community, and it's not just me. It's other members of our community, but I needed a little bit of encouragement. Thank you.
I have to ask you, when you said you have 16 littles in a town, do you mean 16 little kids you're getting a park for?
Yep,
that's incredible.
Yeah, wait, we're so small and so very rural, and then trying to find and coordinate meeting places and that. And when they brought up the little park for the little kids, I'm like, why don't we add an innovation center in there? That way then we can hold meetings there. There's never, you know, go here, go there. It's all in one place. Everybody knows it's there. We can put in facilities to be able to hold luncheons or barbecues or whatever. So I was trying to come up with a really broad idea, and then we could narrow it down as we had to.
I love that though. I thought every single community needs a Barbara who is going to want a park for 16 children. That's incredible.
Well, let's hope it works. Let's hope it gets through there. I need to get with Colette on some grants and stuff like that. I am talking to the Department of Recreation on the 24th to see if we can't get some of their outdoor kid recreation stuff going. So keep your fingers crossed, guys.
I don't know if you already have somebody that you've, you know, try to put a bid in or anything for playground equipment, but we've got a guy that's part of our chamber that does a really good job with that. He's done the schools, our local parks and things. So anyway, if you want to get a hold of me,
like, promoting your chamber members,
you know, hey, we try, right? He's awesome.
What we do. I'm always like Jim and Kathleen. I'm like, hey, do you have like an eye doctor? I need somebody up north for an eye doctor or something like that. Like that's what we should be helping each other. So.
Jeff, will you get me your contact information? Because it would be good to say, okay, I do know somebody that can help us with the playground equipment. That
you just want to write my phone number down right now?
Yep, I sure can.
Okay. 801-696-6624.
Thank you guys. Hang in there. Chambers make a difference. It's for our businesses, for our communities, for our children, really. So thank you guys. Try to sign up for that conference at the 1st of February. We'll have a dinner party. It'll be awesome. And we'll let you go.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much.
See you in Salt Lake.
Awesome.